Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, over the last couple of weeks, there's been lots of flashpoints of riots and protests across the whole of, England predominantly, let's face it. Not so much Scotland. The red wall seats have all reared their heads. You're looking at the likes of Oldham and Rochdale and so forth. You're having problems in London, Croydon, all over. The things that they've got in common in all these locations is, first of all, they all appear to be Labour heartlands. And secondly, they all appear to be areas with very high immigrant populations. It is not coincidental. It is causative. And people are asking, why hasn't it happened in Scotland yet? Well, I think mainly it's because there's very few places in Scotland where the immigrant population is so high as to be problematic. However, had Humza Yousaf stayed in charge with his desire to fill and flood Scotland with people just like him, especially all the Gazans, he wanted to bring in 100,000 Gazans or something, and the current SNP are sort of very minded to continue this and flood Scotland with immigrants, I think that's the only reason that Scotland hasn't yet exploded. But had they done it, I think it definitely would have. Scotland's got enough problems as it is. The housing situation is terrible, the education system, the hospitals. Imagine flooding Scotland with 100,000 immigrants, alien to us, hating our culture, hating our heritage, not agreeing with our laws, taking up all that space, taking all those homes, probably, again, like in England, taking priority for those homes. Do you think the people of Scotland would have stood for it? Or do you think they'd have gone on the march as they have in all those English towns? I think we all know the answer to that. This, of course, is why Swinney is having this big meeting. It's why he's very, very scared, because he knows he's on a knife edge. Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't. And it is no coincidence that it all seems to be Labour heartland. And despite Labour and Starmer calling it all far right, it's all the far right, no, it's all the Labour voters. And they've done this to themselves. And that's why Swinney is looking at this and he's thinking, no. I think even Swinney gets it, that he cannot allow this. They cannot push this. But Scotland's failing because there's not enough Scots. The population is shrinking. And unless you encourage people to go into Scotland that are beneficial to Scotland, that are going to work and invest, then it's going to get worse. And eventually you are going to have to cave, and you are going to have to bring in the third worlders. You are going to have to bring in people with whom you have nothing in common and who loathe you, simply to bring the economy up. And that's when it explodes. That is when it goes. You know it. I know it. Swinney knows it. He's just hoping that he's gone before it happens. Thanks very much. Bye.